Yo, so what up, guys? So, I'm adding more to this Michael Chandler saga because it just seems like everywhere we turn, Michael Chandler's kind of left out to dry. It just kind of seems like he was so dead set on the Conor McGregor fight that he did the Ultimate Fighter, obviously outdid Conor in the coaching, obviously was the more dialed-in fighter. Conor's made his money, and he doesn't have to go in there anymore. So now to see Conor McGregor pull out a 303 because of a broken toe when he's stepped in the octagon with worse injuries, and that's never been an excuse for him before. If that's not an indicator that I don't think this fight is going to happen, I really don't think this fight's going to happen until I see the octagon door shut and Herb Dean announces, a victory, because I really think Herb Dean would honestly ref that fight. But also until I hear Bruce Buffer say it's time, I really don't see Michael Chandler versus Conor McGregor happening. Now, Michael Chandler has tried to face down Islam, and Islam obviously isn't having it because he knows you're an unreliable opponent. The second Conor McGregor says something, you'll pull out of that and then go towards Conor McGregor. Nate Diaz, he called out Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz probably doesn't want to do this for a one-fight deal in the UFC, and I don't think the UFC is going to let him do a one-and-done thing. And then let's move forward a little bit more. Now, he's talking to Dustin Poirier like he won that Dustin Poirier fight. And the thing is, although it was a back and forth, Michael Chandler did fight, with some dirty tactics, with the hooks in the mouth, with spitting the blood out the nose, on the face. I mean, he could have done it on the canvas to make sure that, he wasn't impeding Dustin Poirier. But if anyone is going to look at that and deny that that would be a dirty tactic because Michael Chandler knew the fight wasn't going his way, even though in a decision, we really don't know where that goes. However, Michael Chandler's kind of like left out in the dust now that Conor's absolutely pulled out of UFC 303. It shouldn't have gone this way, and they were hyping this up so much, and now if it doesn't happen at UFC 306, I think that it's pretty much done. If they don't at least put that up there, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm giving that deadline because now it's continuously being talked about that Conor McGregor might not even fight at all. So I know where these things go. It's not, pessimistic to think anything differently. However, I feel like right now Michael Chandler's best bet would probably be to get a rematch with Dustin with all the stuff that they've been talking online. Now, does Dustin want to sign on that dotted line? Probably not. Once you fight with one guy and they had to use dirty tactics to win or something like that and you still came out on top, would you really want to fight, or would you really have anything to prove? And plus, who is a big name that Michael Chandler could bounce off of that's going to give him any sort of merit? Is he going to go against Gamrot? I mean, there tends to be a thing with Gamrot in the lightweight division where everybody who fights him, there tends to be a fluke, and then Gamrot wins. The Rafael Fazia fight was definitely an indicator of that. But now we have, Michael Chandler. Just where is he going to go now? And you know what? I wouldn't blame Dustin Poirier if he doesn't want to rematch Michael Chandler, but if Dustin Poirier wanted to go out on a victory, I think he could take that, or Michael Chandler could take it. Who knows where the second fight goes? I mean, it always could go a separate direction, so we really don't know. However, I don't know. I think Dustin Poirier seems like the most likely as of now because of everything that they're going back and forth with. But if not Dustin Poirier, if not Islam, if not Nate Diaz, if not Conor McGregor, if not any of these big names, because Dustin also is a draw too. Dustin's a big money draw also. Who would he face down? Are they going to call up Benson Henderson? Hey, you want to come back for a fight? Do you think that would be a nostalgia one? That would be a good one to run back. But yeah, I mean, I just don't know. I think that right now, Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler 2, with the current spectrum of how Twitter works, seems like the most appealing, but I feel like Michael Chandler is going to get into another debate with someone else or another talking thing with someone else, and then we're going to be making another video about Michael Chandler versus the next guy facing him down or something like that. So it's going to go in cycles, and it's like I feel really bad for Michael Chandler. Despite a lot of the criticisms he's had, of course, he's 2-3 in the UFC, and his 2 wins were over Dan Hooker and Tony Ferguson. Every time he's fought one of the top echelons of the division, he fell short. He's obviously not really coming to get the belt, even though some of that belt fight that he had with Oliveira, he almost won in that first round. And if he would have played his cards differently, he could have been champion for a while. And I think that's the most upsetting part, is that he came into the UFC with a lot of this hype, and now it's just like Conor has played the war game right, where he was puffing out his chest waiting for a face-to-face combat, but Conor was always playing the mental game. And now he's trapped Michael Chandler in this thing where, as of right now, Michael Chandler's best bet would be to latch on to Dustin Poirier. But if Dustin doesn't want to take that fight, which understandably so, man, I just think Michael Chandler is just, Conor ran him in circles and put him in a ditch with the ultimate mind game, and it's the ultimate troll. And you know what? It's cruel to watch. I honestly don't find it funny, because I really wish Conor would get in the ring, and then at least, even if he beat Michael Chandler, he would at least be able to say, hey, we fought him in the octagon. But man, this is hard to watch, and it's just a never-ending saga of flame wars and nonsense now. This is probably the best game of 5D chess I've ever seen Conor McGregor play. And you know what? He's playing it right, and he's got all the pawns surrounding him. I think it's safe to say that Conor McGregor might be the puppet master, whether we want to admit it or not, because now everyone's just dogging on Michael Chandler right now. Dang. But yeah, I honestly, off the top of my head, I don't think Dustin Poirier versus Chandler 2 would ever happen. But, what are we going to do? But hey, we'll wait to see if they actually sign it or what goes down. But yeah, this is very upsetting as an MMA fan to watch. Peace out.